discourse with other religious communities are part of what we believe to be an agenda that we embrace. So if we talk about everything, including, as we'll get to, the occupation of Palestine and or the embargo of Gaza, that all of these things are issues that we believe are issues that the U.S. population needs to engage in, and therefore issues that Muslim Americans need to be engaged in as well. Sure.
On the Palestine issue, this is one of the issues that, as a Muslim, we strongly feel about and care about and worry about. As you probably all know, that in Islam there are three sacred places, most sacred places for us. Kaaba, which is in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. Second is Mosque of the Prophet Muhammad, which is in Medina, again in Saudi Arabia. And the third most sacred place for Muslims is Baitul Maqdis, or the mosque in Baitul Maqdis. Now, wherever Muslims are, and doesn't matter if they are from Palestine or if they are from Mali or Ghana, wherever, it is a topic which any Muslim feels, very passionate with. That what is going on in Palestine is not right, and if someone who is only in a Muslim environment, and this is where the anger in the young Muslims comes to picture, is that not only here, if you go to Muslim countries, you speak with young people, or one of the things that people will say is that the one issue which really is bothering them is the issue of Palestine. All of this, Afghanistan or Taliban, this is all new. But for the last almost 60 years, it has been the issue of Palestine, which really, hurts the Muslim community. Each and every person feels that, something world is not doing when it comes to issues of Muslims. And people will give you examples of East Timor, Indonesia, that, when there was a struggle in East Timor, powers came and they said it has to be, free. Indonesia has to let go of East Timor, and it was done. Right? Kashmir is another issue. For over 60 years, Indian army is there, and repeatedly, both Kashmir and Palestine, so many resolutions in United Nations, nothing happened. In Kashmir, there are almost 700,000 Indian army, even as we speak today. On every 7 to 8 Kashmiris, there is one soldier on their head. In Palestine, we all know what is happening in Palestine. And so this is one area where coalition building with Muslim community is going to be very easy. And going to a mosque, going to Islamic center, and speaking with the people that we are here, we share with you, your concerns and your pains, but we would like to work together. American Muslims, especially, I will say, is that there is a humanitarian side of Palestine, and one of the things that we were really hit was when in the last administration, so many Muslim charities were targeted by the Bush administration, starting with Holy Land Foundation, Benevolence, and other Muslim organizations. And those were the organizations where, even today, if you go and raise funds within Muslim community for any Muslim cause, I can bet you that the most of the money will go to Palestine. If you ask that, we have a cause for Palestine or we have some other issues, most of the money will go to Palestinian cause. people feel that there is injustice, and people feel that because of the American pressure, Muslim countries are also not helping Palestinians, and that's a fact. And this is where, when the administration targeted relief organizations, it was another shock for the Muslim community that we are trying to raise funds for these orphans and these people who are stuck in this small strip of land in Gaza, and then that right has also been taken away from us, that now Muslim organizations cannot even help their brothers and sisters.
Yeah, part of the politics of the issue, and I think we'll probably have a dialogue about this after the formal PowerPoint presentation, but part of the politics, and this is just sort of a personal take on it, is that we are working in a way that hopefully makes a distinction between the issue of the occupation on one hand and the principled stand that everyone needs to take on the question of anti-Semitism and racial hatred and religious hatred on the other hand. And we realize that there are people in the Muslim community that maybe have not made that distinction, and we work to educate people and to share with people the idea that the occupation is not being done in the name of religion, but it's being done as a form of colonialism that we believe is not attached to any particular faith tradition, and in fact is part of virtually every faith tradition in one iteration or another. But the other point is that I feel that what we are striving to do and what we need support in doing more is in making the case to the American people that the end of the occupation and the end of the injustice being done to Palestinians generally and the people of Gaza specifically is a benefit not only to the Muslim Ummah in the world and the Muslim community in Palestine, but also to the Jewish community in the United States and ultimately the State of Israel, because we believe that we've come to the point, and there's been some struggle involved in this, but we've come to the point of recognizing the need, at least in the current historical moment, for a two-state solution, for a solution that does not impose any draconian measures on the Palestinians, and at the same time requires the Palestinians to not do things that jeopardize civilians in Israel. But at the same time recognizing that all of that can only come to be when there is some unified push from people of faith and what I call people of ethical and moral understanding to change the political dynamic of the United States and its policy. Obviously much easier said than done. Those of you who've been out here for a long time, and I know there are people in this room that I know and I've worked with who've been out here for a long time, realize that that's not an easy road to hoe. Or is it hoe? No, road to hoe, got it. But the idea is that the national Muslim organizations very much want to see the Muslim American community build those kind of bridges and relationships with the Jewish community, with the Christian community, with political communities on the left and even the center, as well as with everyone else in the United States who believes that somehow American policy should not be tied to what effectively is the occupation of people's land, or what we would call in historical sense ethnic cleansing. That's not consistent with what we know the Torah to be, or the Quran to be, or the Bible to be, or any political or moral document in the 20th century to be. So we think that this is something that we want to attempt to move in a different direction, but at the same time we recognize that that movement can't just be a Muslim